Morning. Thanks for joining us for the News 12 FastCast. I'm Nick Proto. 7:30 here on our Monday, December 30th. Former President Jimmy Carter died over the weekend, nearly 2 years after entering hospice care at his home in Plains. He was sworn in as the nation's 39th president on January 20th, 1977. From there, the peanut farmer from Georgia built a reputation for tireless humanitarian work. All of his efforts were recognized with the Nobel Peace Prize in 2002. Leaders here at home and across the nation are continuing to show an outpouring of love for the former president and his family. This is what both of our U.S. senators from Georgia had to say. Senator John Ossoff says the former president's dedication to public service changed so many lives in the U.S. and around the world. He believes millions of people will admire and appreciate his efforts moving forward. Senator Raphael Warnock called Carter one of his heroes and an example of what it means to make your faith come alive through service. The 5 living presidents also shared their thoughts and prayers for Carter's family. This is what President Joe Biden had to say as he prepares for the end of his term. He says they had the honor of calling the former president a dear friend. He also left behind a message for the next generation, encouraging them to study Carter's life if they want to find purpose and meaning. This is what President-elect Donald Trump had to say on his social media platform. He says we owe Carter a debt of gratitude. As a former president, he could have faced challenges while working to improve everyone's lives. Across the river, South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham highlighted Jimmy Carter's life in a statement as well, saying, quote, President Carter lived a full, incredible, and consequential life. He'll be remembered for his decency and his humanitarian efforts as much as any legislative accomplishment. Georgians headed to the Carter Presidential Center yesterday to pay their respects. They laid down flowers by the sign and took a moment to reflect. Some of the tributes came from those who didn't get a chance to meet Carter, but say they admired and learned from his work. One student from North Carolina touched on how the former president's character can be inspirational.
He understood that outside of politics, outside of policy, there's a person on the other side. And if we can appeal to that person, we can get things done and we can create a better future. So for my generation, I think we should use him as an example of what diplomacy looks like, of what reaching across the aisle truly looks like.
Former President Carter served until 1981. After he left office, he continued to serve. In 1982, he founded the Carter Center and became a distinguished professor at Emory University. Then he and Rosalind became volunteers and the public faces of Habitat for Humanity. We have more reaction on the passing of Jimmy Carter and more stories on the way of the legacy he leaves behind. You can find all of that on our website, WRDW.com. Just scan the code right there on your screen. It'll take you directly there. Columbia County deputies are looking for a teen they say ran away. Sophia Crosby was last seen at her aunt's house on Colonial Road. Deputies say someone discovered she wasn't in her room last Thursday morning. Anyone with information on where she went should call the sheriff's office. The deadlines to apply for FEMA assistance are coming up. If you live in South Carolina, you have until January 7th. If you live in Georgia, you've got an extra month till February 7th. Also, just know all Georgia disaster recovery centers will change their operating hours today. Those new hours are Monday through Saturday from 8 to 6, and they are closed on Sundays. We're on your side with a few of the centers open in our area. Those include the Hub on Chafee Avenue in Augusta, Walker T. Norman Gymnasium on Roland York Drive in Lincolnton, and the Thompson Depot on Railroad Avenue in Thompson. For more locations and hours, head to WRDW.com and search FEMA locations. Lincoln County has set a deadline for debris cleanup. You have until today to put storm debris on city and county rights-of-way. After today, commissioners say the county will take storm debris through March 31st at the Lincoln County Convenience Center. There are fees you'll have to pay when you bring it to Landfill Road. If you have a pickup truck or single axle trailer, it'll cost you $25. Double axle trailers are $50, and anything greater will be $100. Leaders say the center will only accept vegetative debris that came from the county. Over the weekend, Augusta Commissioner Francine Scott was sworn in at Broadway Baptist Church.
So help me God. So help me God. Amen.
The District 9 Commissioner was reelected to that spot. She said from her first term, she was proud of the first piece of legislation that was passed and highlighted the Non-Discrimination Act. She told us what she's looking forward to doing in her next term.
So my focus is going to really be community work, as it always been in the past, but priority, making sure there's health care, making sure people have food, make sure people are in a place that they're having livable wages.
And the new commissioners will officially start their roles in January. That's it for the news side of things this morning. Let's send it over to First Alert meteorologist Tim Strong now with a check at your weather.
Well, still monitoring some dense fog there. Mainly a lot of our southern and eastern counties starting to see a little bit more of an improvement in the Augusta number, but really hasn't been that bad at all for a lot of the areas along I-20 to the north. You can see a good portion of the Midlands of South Carolina through Augusta, Daniel Field, all the way to Atlanta, about perfect. It's getting down towards Allendale, Barnwell, Bamberg, Sylvania, Millen, and even part of still southern Burke County dealing with low numbers, visibility at a half mile. But we've got a pretty picture here. A little bit of fog that's kind of cruising across the Savannah River Bridge. If you were looking at I-20 east and westbound travel, that's about most of the fog that we're going to see in the metro. 40 to 48, the spread of temperatures between Augusta to Aiken. A little colder back in the upper 30s. Also in Crawfordville to mid 40s, 45, 48 degrees. Barnwell, Bamberg. Nice day, though. We're coming down to the close of 2024, looking at highs in the mid-60s for today. We're going to get a windy and warmer day tomorrow for New Year's Eve. Highs around 70, but it's the strong gusty winds that will make it feel pretty blustery throughout the day. Winds gusting 25 to 30 tomorrow. Windy and then a big cool down headed our way for New Year's Day. Sunny skies, very dry 7-day outlook. Highs will stop again above average today, tomorrow, but start moving down below average in the mid-50s through the end of the week. Also a colder outlook for the weekend, but morning lows will get down around freezing Thursday morning through Saturday and Sunday morning. Have a great day.